It's Thursday. This week is going so quick, but so glad you are with us. What's up, kids? Pastor Greg Taylor here, your host for the camp meeting, youth camp meeting, online, virtual, Kentucky, Tennessee, all that together. So glad that you decided to spend your time with us today. Hope you're having a wonderful week. Hope you've been blessed. Hope you learned something. Hope that you're drawing closer to Jesus. Hey, our verse from yesterday, do you guys remember it? If you got it, say it with me from Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all of your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. All right, now here's your verse for today. Another adventure verse. I love it. And it's from Joshua 1:9. Speaking of adventure, Joshua, that guy's got some adventure. Speaking of Joshua, we might talk about him at summer camp at Indian Creek Camp, so hope to see you guys there. Joshua 1:9 says this, have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be terrified, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Love that verse. It's one of the most, just like, I'm with you, I got you, I'm there for you. So memorize it, put it in your minds, because it's gonna come to play in your lives when you get worried, when you're nervous, and you can say, no. God said, be strong, be courageous. That sounds like an adventure to me. Anyhow, so glad you decided to join us today. Can't wait to hear what John Henry says and what Rich Aguilera says and the rest of our program. So stay tuned. See you guys in a bit.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another Minute Outdoors. It's me, John Henry, and today I had a neighbor friend ask me to come over and take care of something that they found on their porch. Check it out. Look at this beautiful black rat snake. Take a look at all the battle scars on its back, and its tail is a little shorter than it should be. I'm not sure what happened to this snake, but man, it sure has had a crazy life. Remember, when you see black rat snakes just like this one, there's no need to be afraid. These snakes are not dangerous to people. And in fact, they do a lot more help than they do harm. Black rat snakes eat a lot of rodents. And that really helps take down diseases that come from rodents and from ticks and fleas that rodents carry. So it's really fantastic to have these snakes around. If you ever see a big black snake by your property, just leave it be. It's doing an awesome job. Hey, thanks for joining me on another Minute Outdoors. We'll see you next time.
So don't worry, because I am with you. Don't be afraid, because I am your God. I will make you strong, and I will help you. I will support you with my hand and save you. Isaiah 41:10.
I will lift my eyes to the hills and their creator, who made all heaven and earth. For he watches me, will not sleep, no, never slumber. He's ever over me. As I come and I go, I am safe, for I know that his care is sufficient for me. Winter warmth at night and a shady place in summer, he's ever over me. As I come and I go, I am safe, for I know that his care is sufficient for me. Winter warmth at night and a
shady place in summer, He's ever over me.
Hello everyone, my name is Rich Aguilera and I'm so excited to be joining you again for Kentucky Tennessee Camp Meeting there in Kentucky Tennessee Conference. Kids, I hope you guys have been having a great time. Parents, I'm so glad that you're watching as well. Grandparents, you are always welcome as well. If you have pets watching too, bow wow and meow meow, and I'm so glad you're all watching. Hopefully you're having fun, hopefully you're being blessed, hopefully you are drawing closer to God, our awesome Creator who loves us so much. And of course, living for God is an amazingly great adventure. Hopefully we are being blessed as well. Of course, we start off every time together with a hidden animal. I love these pictures. They show how God creates these animals with such a cool ability to shift their colors to blend into their surroundings. And today I have a pretty cool one of a creature that is blending right in. So are you ready for this day's hidden animal? Yes, you are. You look ready. Okay, I think you're gonna get this. I believe in you today. Maybe it's because it's today's easy one. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see how you do on today's hidden animal. Okay, here we go. Here's today's hidden animal. Ah, okay. Have you spotted it? Yeah, maybe today's was a little bit easier, unless of course you're still sitting there staring like, where is the animal? Did you spot it? Probably it was a frog. Oh, here it is again. Yep, there's the frog. Amazing, the color matching, but this one's a little easier to spot. Good job, you guys. Nice froggy hidden there. Very cool, good job, you guys. It's time for What's It? I like this part. Let's see if you guys can figure out today's What's It. Now, of course, you know by now that I'm going to show you a picture of something zoomed in, very close up, sometimes even under a microscope. Of course, those are really hard to tell what they are when they're under a microscope, but let's see how you do with today's What's It. Let's just show you the picture. You guys can figure it out. Here we go. Today's What's It. Okay. For some reason, this looks mighty familiar. What could that be? All right, I'll give you another few seconds to figure it out. Formulate your guesses. Consult with your parents and grandparents. All right, you guys are ready for the answer, I'm pretty sure. The answer is an artichoke. Yummy. How many of you guys like to eat artichoke? That is an artichoke. Of course, now you look at the picture and you're like, oh yeah, that does look like an artichoke. Cool. All right, that was kind of sneaky. All right, let's move on, you guys. Our time together brings us now to the Dusty and Feather Show. They are our animal specialists. They are pretty good at what they do. A little silly and goofy, and that's all right. Let's go now to the Dusty and Feather Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it doesn't matter if you're in lockdown, quarantine, or self-isolating, the show must go on. Welcome to the Dusty and Feather Show!
Hello, everyone! Hello, we're so happy to see you. My name is Feather, and here is my excellent friend Dusty. Yes, we are so excited that you've joined us for another wonderful show. Wonderful is right. Anytime the kids are around is an automatic wonderful time. That is true, Feather. They sure know how to bring joy. Yes, and that is what our lesson is about today, bringing joy. Oh boy, and you're doing such an awesome job. That they are, Dusty. Well, let's get to our animal for today, Dusty. Yes, I'm actually very excited, Feather. I was wondering when this animal was going to be finally our animal of the day. That is true. Today's animal is so popular, we just knew this had to be our animal when we want to talk about creatures that bring joy, as we are going to do today. That is right, because our animal this day is the dog. Boy, do you have a dog? There are so many of you out there that have a dog, I know it. I'm sure that many of you are raising your hands right now. Quite true, Dusty. Dogs are the most popular pet in the world. Come on, let's go see some of the coolest kinds of dog that we can see in the world. Oh, that's a beagle. I love beagles. one is a golden retriever. Nice. Ooh, look at the German Shepherd. Oh, and the bulldog. Cool. Oh, and that one's a poodle and a dachshund. Oh, look at the corgi. And look at the elegant Siberian husky. Wow. Oh, and also a mastiff. Those dogs are huge. Oh, and the Chihuahua, the smallest dog breed. Oh, look at the Schnauzer. Wow, they're so cool. Man, there are so many cool dogs out there. Yep, that's so true. Of course, as we're learning about today, dogs are the most popular pets because they bring so much joy to their owners. Yes, they do. They seem to know when their owners feel sad, and they just know how to bring them joy. That's right. They just love to love, and they love to love their masters more than they love to love themselves. Boy, I think you just said the word love like 12 times in that sentence, Feather. Well, it's true. They love to love. And they love to protect too. Oh, and they're loyal. So true. Did you know that there are over 400 breeds of dogs today? So many shapes and sizes and colors. Wow, 400! That's amazing! Well, we sure can learn a lot from the dogs with so many wonderful qualities. Still, although dogs are pretty cool, we must always be careful around dogs, especially the ones that we've never met before. That is true. Kids, we don't want any of you getting bit by a dog. Yep. Although dogs are pretty cool, Jesus is the one that we want to try to be like. Yay! And bring joy to everyone around us. Feather, I'm going to go bring some joy to the family next door. Oh, okay. Well, what are you thinking of doing? Feather, of course I'm going to go take them some nachos. Oh, of course. And I will go help you. Bye, everyone. Bye. It's nacho time.
Well, you know, yesterday I told you about our crazy trip from France to Greece. The story does not end there, because once we arrived in Athens, we had to look around for tickets and get ourselves to Cairo. Would we be able to do it? Yes, we did. We found a really cheap flight, and the next day, we flew to Cairo, Egypt. We were so excited. I mean, Cairo, Egypt, wow, epic. Now, our flight landed pretty late in the evening. It was like 10 o'clock at night or something like that. And by the time we took a bus to the center of the city where we hoped to find a place to sleep, it was really late. It was past 11, getting close to midnight. Of course, we needed to find a place to rest. And of course, on top of that, we were college students, so we were pretty poor. We were always on a budget, looking to save $1 wherever we could. So we started walking around, we started asking, and finally we found this really nice Egyptian man who spoke a tiny little bit of English, enough to tell us, oh yes, come, hotel, very good, sleep, yes, come, very good, follow. So we went with him, and he led us down the street and around the corner to another street where he took us to a hotel. And, you know, the storefront, and then you go in and he says, go upstairs, 6th floor, hotel, very good. And we went up the stairs, and sure enough, there was a hotel there, and we asked for a room, and they gave us a room, and no problem, we got ourselves a room. Well, the room was not the most glamorous room I've ever been in. The room cost was $1. And you're probably wondering, what do you get for $1? Yeah, you don't get a whole lot. You know, everywhere that you go, there's different budgets, and apparently we found the cheapest place in all of Cairo. Because the hotel was, yeah, it was pretty rough. The room, there was already a person in our room sleeping. The door, well, there wasn't a door. It was just an opening. There was no window, but there was a nice big hole in the wall. There was a sink in the corner, but it was filled with vomit. And there was this one-eyed cat that kept coming and going. And our beds was really more like this metal frame with this 1-inch mattress on it. But after that last crazy trip, we were so exhausted, we took it. And we slept well, which was hilarious. Now, the next day, as you can imagine, we were starving. We wanted something to eat. We went down to the street, and we're like, we got to find something to eat fast. I am dying of hunger. We walked a block or two, and we smelled it from like a block away. We're like, oh, that smells good. Follow your nose. And we found this little storefront, this little Egyptian guy at the front with this humongous pot, and he's just like mixing this food, and we're like looking in the pot, and we're like, whoa, that looks good. And we're like looking, and there's like rice and lentils and pasta and garbanzos and fried onions and tomatoes and spices and all that stuff. It was this dish that called kushari. And we're like, yeah, we want this. We were all vegetarian and we wanted to eat safe as well. So he's like, oh yes, come. And he took us into the dining room, which is upstairs, and he took us to a table. The ceiling was like this high. We get in there and we're like, sit down at the table, and he's like, I bring. There's no menu. They only make one food there, so it's just sit down and he'll bring you the food. Now we sat at this little table, and there was 3 things at the table. There was this jar of water, there was a single cup, and there was this little bowl of like Parmesan cheese. Now the cup sat there all day, and the water jug was just filled up throughout the day. Because there, it's normal to just have a community cup. So everybody drinks out of the exact same cup all day long. And of course, hey, that works for them, but for us, we wanted to make sure we were healthy and not getting sick, and we're like, we better not drink that water just to be sure. So finally the guy brings us our food, and it looks so good, it smells so good, and we're so hungry. Of course, we put a ton of Parmesan cheese on it, mix it up, pray, and we just start digging in. Well, after about 30 seconds, we all realized that wasn't quite Parmesan cheese. We don't know what it was, but it was more like this intense sea salt with some spices in it or something. It looked like Parmesan cheese, but it was hot. And we started like sweating. We're like, you start sweating everywhere in your ears and the whole thing. And we're like crying, and all of a sudden we're like fighting for the water glass, filling it, drinking. All 4 of us must have drank 2 or 3 cups of water because we were dying. We're like, whew. And we had to reorder our food again so that we wouldn't put the Parmesan cheese in it. And we ate it, and it was so delicious. But yeah, we made a mistake there with the Parmesan cheese. And unfortunately, we paid a very dear price, because a few hours later, all 4 of us got sick. We had this really nasty food poisoning that knocked us out for 24 hours. Had to go back to a room and just lay there and survive because it was bad. All that because we could not figure out that was not Parmesan cheese. In life, things aren't always as they appear. As we've mentioned already this week, Satan wants to trick us, and he'll put things in front of us that look wonderful, that look fun, that look like they must be a party to eat or drink or to put in our bodies, that are wonderful ways of treating people, or the right way of dressing or speaking and treating others. So many ways that the enemy is trying to deceive us. We have to be very careful, because when the enemy is at work, nothing is as it appears. Where you look at commercials on TV about, whatever, smoking or drinking, whatever, it's always extremely destructive for you. But look how the enemy tries to present it as something that's great. You're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it. It's going to make you feel great. We have to be very, very careful and always be defensive, because the enemy is constantly throwing tricks at us that he wants to trip us up with. Leads me to my verse today, which is Ephesians 6:11. It says, put on all of God's armor so that you will be able to stand firm against all the strategies of the devil. Exactly like I was just saying. The enemy's going to throw everything at you, and we need to be able to defend ourselves. But with God's armor surrounding us, we can do it. Not a good idea to go at it alone. We have to have God there with us, helping us, encouraging us, giving us faith and strength to be able to fight off all of the enemy's junk that he throws our way. Because he's going to use everything in his power, even peer pressure. And your own friends, even your own family will try to have you do things that are not going to be good for you. Let's cling on to God's armor every single day. Let's pray. Dear Lord, we know that the enemy is trying so hard to trick us. Lord, help us by being our armor. Help us to defend against the enemy and his attacks, to not be tricked by all these things that he puts in front of us. He wants us to think they're great and they'll make us feel great and that we'll love them, Lord, but help us to know what's right and what's wrong. Help us to know what Jesus would do. Thank you so much for that example. In your name I pray. Amen. Well, this day is over. Camp meeting is just moving right along. I am so glad that you're hanging out and watching. I hope you're being blessed. Of course, we will meet up again tomorrow, so I can't wait to see you soon. Take care. God bless.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. I like this Bible verse because I think it describes of how Jesus wants us to believe in him and that we can put our trust in Jesus, and yeah.
Hope you loved it. Hope you were blessed. Hope you learned something. Do you guys remember your memory verse already? Love it. Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Get that memorized. We'll see how you do tomorrow. God bless you guys. See ya.